Okay, the name of this speech is The Song of the Lamb, second edition, if you will. And it's about actually Latino America, the sources, as well as Latino Cayesa so in general. And it derives from a group in heaven called the Sacrichibes Rajeros. And all things I can't tell you for a second. In heaven, these people were righteous and holy. But in earth, they became what everybody else was, because they themselves decided not to be there when God the Father told them to go Ryan, Paul, Iwaj, Is, Te, Ha, backwards. God said that to them, and it means you need to go wash yourselves without doing it. And God was being funny, and they took offense and left. Now these people left and came to earth, and they should, because I didn't agree with it. But these people did not know that was their origins in heaven, not earth. In earth, their origins go all the way back to the Spaniard Chio Bob Chiretas. And that's the Chicken Bob Chiretas, and that's mainly the people that's yellow and Irish descent and light-skinned Rajeros. The Latinos, as far as Ellie concerned, stem from a place in heaven called La Tagogo Island. And it's a place in heaven which Dexter Jerome Ray Jr. was origin from, not his father or anybody else like that. It's called La Tagogo Island, and it's somewhere that was blessed beyond all Tabahots or Etriajajo claims. A slight variation don't change the meaning of it. It means the same place I was conceived and the same place I was born on Raya. And the thing is, when Latino check the sway, they'll have terror, because it means exactly what it says. Like the name of the island that I was from in heaven also means the place I was born and conceived at the same time. It's simultaneous. So if they want to know who Ellie is, then that might help them a lot. But yeah, so the Song of the Lamb complements all that I said and that. And so who I am is the same person that was there, and then who I am now is different. Now over time things change, but I hate to assume and to see the fact of Icho Kopapo Nectar, which means it's hard for me to understand that if a person is born like with Bishop T.D. Jakes' heart, honor, and character, and morals, and values, then how in heaven was they any different? And that's all I ask you. Where Drodo and all we Kiskin. And so the Song of the Lamb kept going. I rapped on the last recording. I didn't intend to at first. It was unrelated to the Song of the Lamb, but it complemented it as everything else was. The Song of the Lamb is my testimony entirely. It includes these quotations that I wrote by hand through the years, trying to get caught up on things that I knew not or understand not of. Also, it also encapsulated any type of beef I had in musical history as well, but not much. It was like to a lesser degree and extent, because I put first the things that I could see and understand at the time, and later came can. And so when people started saying these things, I didn't know that my life was in that position at an earlier time in history. I had no idea that when I was in the earth, that this happened from my childhood to my adolescence, all the way to my young adulthood, and ever since. So I had no idea these things occurred, but somebody planned them out for me against my will. And so the Song of the Lamb wrapped around that as well, because it must. But I myself never said that it should have to be somewhere else like the cuts. Like, I never agreed to being somebody in a position that they put me in, but if I was, then I was strong enough to accept it, and I was okay enough to say that I'm okay with it. And so that's what happened. I never said that I cared not about it, but I said that if I was in this position, then it must have been a reason. So I assumed that it was some higher deity responsible for it, right? And so when I did, I realized that it was true, but it was not in the way that I thought it was supposed to be. And so I lived, and I didn't really care about anything else, but I prayed God, Hogan, Esther, and Alria Soko Puri. I said, God, if you real, then please help me out these circumstances. And God was not there, if you will. And so people know how they feel during the time of bereavement. And my whole entire life has been that the entire time. But I couldn't get any type of conspizement because nobody else could understand it. And if they did, they was not mine, if you understand. Because they felt like I belonged on another planet. And that's pretty much how it was. And so I asked God forgiveness on Great Guy Reg, but the Song of the Lamb is an Fragile Kendo piece, because it is everything that I am in a good way. Because who I am is not bound by the opinions of those who don't know me. Because those who don't know me, even though it sounds cliche, those who don't know me for real don't know life. They don't know the truth. and they don't know salvation. Rajo's in a different way. In that, still, like Bible pages stuff. So they don't know life, truth, or salvation for real, or the light. They don't know the light either, because you be in darkness if you don't give a care. But I'm just saying, the Song of the Lamb cared about me at the time unfit, and I still love it. I kept the Song of the Lamb the whole time. Nobody else said anything else about it. Because if people got to look that hard to try to find something for you, then they already know the truth about you. And so that's why you ain't supposed to pay attention to it. But if you get ignored, then you understand it. But if a person ain't really anything in particular, I promise you this, bro, they don't got to be told, because they understand it. Yeah, so if a person ain't nobody, then you ain't got to tell them. If a person is this and that, they'll know it. Yeah, that's it. But if you telling somebody something that's not true to them or others, then you might be the person there with the code the whole time, like Gorge. And that's true. The Song of the Lamb is Saint Worthy Pratios, and it's the way I speak all the time, because it's true. But if people try to attack me, then thank goodness I got the same thing. But if the police telling people to destroy or defame my character and my reputation and things, give me statements that'll destroy my integrity in the public eyes, if I could have any type of influence, then that's a crime of Kiko Pasibiese regents. And it's ochre if people already know it. They're intentionally sacrificing something that is solely sacred and royal in plain sight. Because I lived a life that was not consistent with whatever somebody tried to frame life. Wojos. So I lived life righteously at a time unfit, and it was not consistent with any of the plain guys. I didn't care about the same kinds, if you know what I'm saying. And so since I didn't care and still live like the Bible said, in spite of the circumstances, they are incontent or idols dread. And that's not my fault or my business. And just like when people attack me and say it's another person's name character, that's not my business either. But if they're attacking me and I can defend myself, then I will. But if I did nothing wrong and people are trying to sweat me or starve me or do things to me I don't deserve in plain sight of the public, then it's the end of the road. But it ain't the end of the world until they understand that it's a cusby. So the Song of the Lamb is something that delivers people. It frees people's soul states and their mentalities, and it gives people new hope of life and liberty. But if I embrace this secretly and somehow it's public, then I'm under threat of terroristic danger squad Sergeant F.Y.G. Octavio Bose. In statute 8788050109 and that's the end of the U.S. Constitution Guidebook on ESO strategist Tico terrorist Abu Khan movement, which is Sarajo's stratagem, which is something from heaven, earth, English, and hell. And that's something we know in the office for the FBI details. And I'm under a terror threat danger squad Sergeant 854 Need 8 I Jojos, which are things I say in raps and rhymes, and it still sell. Your favorites, yeah, your favorites could. My favorites is me, always. Wildrose. So the Latino cano don't have a lot to do with Dexter Ray Jr., but I will say that if the Latino Americans sent Wild was here, then they'll be the same way as the African Americans and the white Americans or Caucasians and the Asian Americans as well. Because the Latino American Joe was so mean to me just last night that I couldn't live nowhere else in the world for no reason in particular. They just up and did a through cold ball game move on me, and I did nothing else to deserve it but the triple. And since it was okay in the sight of the white police officers, then I left. I left the state and the nation because I couldn't stay. But if I did anything to deserve it, then I understand. But if I did not, then I need help. Help, even if it comes from another land. And that's just the truth of it. I'm not afraid, but I will be afraid if I must. Yeah, for fun, games, and for real, but not much. And so the things is, if people doing this to me and they know I rap and they know I got the Song of the Lamb going no matter what, then they understand why they doing it to me. And they doing it because I won. They doing it because I won a war with rap without it, which is a part of the slang here movement. So people that sit there with it, they love it no matter what. Because they understand that I'm not somebody with a conscience in a good way. Why JoJo's? So when they understand that, then they understand that the Song of the Lamb is worth a hell of a lot more than nothing. And you can't pay for it because it's way too much according to the subject. But if people scrapped on it, then that means that they cared about it. But if they didn't care about it, then they lived. But if they sat there with the stuff I did, then they'll never say anything again. And that's for real. Where those? So people that don't know don't care. But if they erase their own memory so they can't know, then they lost. No matter what. So when I get and did bad, don't ever think I lose. Because I won. No matter what. And so since I won so much, I didn't care anything else about it. But if I lost, then I wouldn't care anything else about it. But if somebody told me not to do something that I must do to survive, then they trying to commit a murder in a different way than what was traditional, which is still the same case. And since it's untraditional, then they understand it. But Dexter Ray Jr. don't have fear of retaliatory effort from any type of entity or any source of rajos. But if you attack me at times unfitting with the camera lenses that are inaccurate and distortion, you trying to hype yourself up to do something that you know your natural morals is against it. And so for that, I will live life royally and righteously. But any victory that they have is false. And they know it too. That's why victorious always been the title thing or the song of the Lamb. Everything else could be relative to it, but it still makes sense. When you real and you solid, like Jeff ain't so cut a bam, where'd your nose? And that's how it is. It still makes sense to add up if you look at it, no matter which way you look at it, because you'll learn one thing on another, and it still work out for Dexter Ray Jr. because his soul strength, not because his fleshly being, it was a cover, no matter what. And ja, ja, ja. Why ja?